Okay, hello everybody. We are live with the Stigma-Free Society. This is Wellness Chats with Nisha, and we're here every Thursday. We used to be at 2 p.m., but now we're at 11 a.m. So thanks so much for joining us. I'm really excited. We have a fantastic guest this morning who I'm about to introduce. But before I do that, I just want to he's making noise in the background. I've got him on a small screen, just about to bring him up. I just want to give you a little bit of background so that you know a bit about who I am as I'm talking today. I'm a registered clinical counselor, background in teaching, worked with the Ministry of Children and Family Development, currently have a media company, Human Biography, which I co-founded with my husband, and we specialize in documentaries and creating commercials for companies. So we are going to be every Thursday at 11 a.m. So look forward to having everyone join us at the new time. And I just want to do a quick disclaimer. So in this video, we're going to be talking about things and how life is impacting us and COVID's impacting us. And some people are enjoying this downtime, but some people are just really finding it difficult, and there's really a whole gamut of everything in between. So I just wanted to say that if you feel that you're at risk or in crisis and you feel that you need some help, please stop watching, call 911 so that our amazing first responders can do their jobs. Okay, so I would like to bring up our fantastic guest today. Hello, Eddy.
Hello, Nisha.
Welcome. So great to have you here. How's the morning going?
It's been going beautifully. Great weather over here, and we just did a really fun photo shoot for the team yesterday.
Oh, fun. So where are you?
I'm in Mississauga right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, great weather. Okay, you're lucky. Yes. Mississauga. Yeah. And so you just did a photo shoot. That sounds very interesting. So I'm going to tell everyone a little bit about Eddy. So that you have a bit of his background. So Eddy is the founder of the SSCI website. So he's been involved in many projects and charities throughout his career and spends a lot of time cultivating new businesses. So he's a passionate individual with, he has a lot to give to the world, and he believes in ending stigma surrounding mental health and self-care. And it continues his efforts to give people the resources to find self-care and better themselves. Eddy has personally dealt with traumatic issues over the years and has vowed to make people feel like they matter enough to reach out for that help themselves. So that's amazing. So Eddy, sustainable self-care. Let's talk.
All right. Let's do this.
Let's do this. So maybe tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I've had some ups and downs over the last 5-6 years and have tried to figure them out with varying measures of success. And I've gotten really physically fit. I've traveled down to California to really challenge myself with some former military instructors. And I just kept finding that everything I focused on wasn't what I needed. So coming to the emotional and mental side of self-care, I started to see some real results. And that's kind of where this came out of.
Oh, that's very interesting. So the sustainable self-care. Okay, so what were you doing before that you felt like you were trying but wasn't working?
I was focusing too much on the physical. I mean, I got to the point where I could do like 300 burpees in a row with motivation, but no matter how strong I became, I couldn't fix the way I was feeling inside.
Wow.
So.
And that's interesting because I think that often we, tell ourselves, or we're told, like, if you work out and you'll feel better and you'll do better. And I know that I do feel better when I work out or get exercise or movement. But that's not enough. There's more components than just that.
100%. That is a piece of the puzzle. And I can do one piece really well. There's more to it. There's more to self-care.
How did you figure that out? Like, how did you come to that realization? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people who do focus on, thinking the physical could be enough. What helped you understand that there's more?
I started seeing a behavioral psychologist at the beginning of this year. I was determined to figure this out, as literally my life is on the line at this point. So I'll try anything. And we got back into some, emotional and mental areas that hadn't been getting as much love as the physical, and figured out it was really mostly a self-esteem generated issue from when I was younger. Yeah. So once you find one of those core causes, you start working on the core, all of a sudden everything starts to get a little bit better.
Yes, and it's so interesting. A lot of the self-work I've done, or the work that I've seen that helps, it often comes down to what happened in childhood. What were those moments? And when we say, like I say, trauma, we might think people might think trauma is huge, but trauma doesn't have to be huge. Trauma is trauma. So it could be a moment that something happened and it just changed how you felt or changed how you looked at yourself.
Yeah, I'd say one of the pivotal points was when I stopped comparing myself outwardly, whether it was my success, my physical health, the way I felt with everyone else in my circle. And I started just looking at myself internally. What do I need right now? What am I feeling? What's important to me? And started focusing on that.
Wow. I feel like I'm on a similar path. This is very interesting. And then how did you do that? How did you start reminding yourself to focus inwards or see what matters to you?
Luckily, the last 5 or 6 years of meeting people and looking for answers and searching and finding gave me a lot of tools to use in my day-to-day. And their tools are great, but you got to use them. So
yes, you got to put it into practice. So do you put it 100%. Into your calendar? Do you put it into your calendar of reminding yourself to build those things into your day? Or,
yes. Yeah, but starting small too. I would go do these incredible physical adventures, and then I wouldn't be able to sustain it afterwards. And I just kept thinking, what's sustainable? What can I do every day that isn't like trying to climb a mountain or some insane goal, but will still contribute to my day-to-day self-care?
So what would you say what would you suggest to people is something small to start with?
Well, a lot of people struggle with why. I call it the why wall. If you can't get around it, you're stuck behind it. And your first why is in the mirror. It's you. So you're the most important thing to invest in yourself and keep going. So even if it's just going for a walk for 5 minutes a day, or committing to 20 minutes of reading a book you wanted, or going after that podcast you've always been thinking about doing, whatever that looks like for you, because all of our own self-care is so individual. Do it. You're going to be the person that knows intuitively what you need for yourself personally.
It's true. It's like we may be looking for answers out there, but really within here.
Yeah, and there's so many great resources available. It's like the golden age of self-help, if you think about it, for all the ways we have access to information.
It's huge.
And I'll read huge. And I'll read about these basketball players that this is what they do to keep their training up. And I'll think that's great, but I'm not a basketball player. I'm a person that cannot sustain, that level of working out, but what can I sustain?
Yes. So what can I sustain? What's doable as a habit?
Eddy, as long as you can just get it started. The real key is making it manageable for you, so you're not looking at climbing the mountain. You're literally just looking at taking the first step. So when COVID hit here, I was getting a little squirrely, as I couldn't go to the gym with my friends, and I depend heavily on extroverts for that energy. So I committed to just climbing the stairs in my building.
Okay.
That's it. It's something. At least start. And then once you've begun something, you can grow it. Doesn't matter if it's 1 step or 10.
And so let's talk about step 1 of, the Sustainable Self-Care Initiative, and why and how did you start it?
Okay. It started as more of a feeling that I'd been feeling for a while, especially with COVID hitting in March, that we were not prepared for anything like this. We weren't prepared in our food banks, our shelter systems, our physical, mental, and emotional self-care went all the way down to just our rooms, essentially. And I wanted to celebrate myself on my birthday by celebrating a side of me that's very giving and charitable. So I made the commitment that day to donate money to 5 of my favorite charities. And after I made that commitment, I thought, I want people to know why I'm making it. I needed to broadcast a little bit louder why these things are important. And with the help of a few talented friends in my circle that have been very generous with their time, we made this a reality in under 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we had a website, a brand, everything. It came together very quickly.
Wow. So you just felt motivated that this is it. This is the time. This is what I need to do.
Oh, it felt very good. Yeah, and grateful. Motivated and grateful.
Oh, wow. And then just the right people came together.
Yep. I call them like I told you before. It felt like we assembled the Avengers, one hero at a time. And when the need came up to have someone new come to the team, or we needed a spot filled, a person would just appear, and it was such a wonderful fit right out of the gates.
It's fantastic when energies are aligned. You know, when the right things come into place, and it's easy. It doesn't feel hard. You know, I feel like it's a sign that it's meant to be.
Everyone on the team is very much the same value. They're kind. They've had their own self-care journeys in life, and they've overcome them for the most part. And they've got their own story to share and their own viewpoints. And everyone adds something to the sauce.
I think that's very important, right? That to talk about that we all do have our own self-care journeys, and we're all at different levels of self-care.
Absolutely.
Right? Like even within that group, you must see the different levels. Or when you talk to people now, do you kind of notice or talk about that more with people? Like, where are you at on your journey, or what do you do for self-care?
Very, very few people I've spoken to say anything more than I have no self-care right now.
Yeah.
It's shocking. And so, I mean, even just going outside for a walk would be adding to it. But we don't focus on ourselves. We tend to give out everything we can energy-wise to others, and then forget that if we don't have anything left for us, we've got nothing left for anyone else.
And then that leads to burnout.
Yep. Depression, mental health issues, you name it. It's the start. Yeah. It's the start of that slope.
The start of that slope. So what you're saying and your platform is that if you can start with self-care, ongoing self-care.
That's right.
And you can maybe live a better life and feel better and do better.
Absolutely. The benefits are out of the gates immediate. You will start feeling better when you start focusing on yourself to give you what you need, so that you can go and give to your family, give to your coworkers, give to your job, give to your kids.
Yes, I'm sure that a lot of people are probably feeling depleted right now. We think about that.
I would imagine so.
Right? That
it is
it's a challenging time.
There's no better opportunity. If you like helping people, this is the best opportunity to get out there and help somebody who needs it, whether that's donating to a food bank, whether that's volunteering, whether that's being positive, supporting, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. This time, I feel, has also allowed us to maybe look at what do we need, or what would make us feel good in helping others. What would we like to do? How can we help others? Maybe it's seeing like who in the neighborhood needs groceries, or who needs have a nice walk and a chat, or do you find that people are open to the self-care, like starting self-care once you do talk to them?
Yeah, they are. I feel they need a little bit of encouragement and generally a little love and some support. My theory on that is, if we are kinder to ourselves, we will naturally be kinder to others.
100%. Did you notice
that's
a change?
Where we're going to start.
Did you notice a change within yourself when you started this journey?
Oh, hands down. Hands down. If I hadn't had such a great area to focus on and a great team to support me, we wouldn't have an initiative. So I found my personal self-care has gone way up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. When I'm better to myself and kinder, I have more love to give.
Yeah.
My light shines brighter.
100%. Happier, healthier, more energy, more enthusiastic. Doesn't mean life doesn't throw more challenges at you. It just means you're a little more prepared to handle them.
A little more prepared.
And we
And
need to be as prepared as we can.
we have to be, because we don't know what the future holds, right? We don't know what's
very uncertain.
Everything's very uncertain. And so you say that you're based out of Mississauga, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is this focused, like, is your initiative kind of focused in Mississauga? Is it Ontario based? Like how,
we've started to partner with various charities and not-for-profits and whatnot, and I'm sure we'll get into the whys of the SSCI, but it's not just local. We picked a couple local, as you know, we are in Toronto, we are in Mississauga. We've got a couple of international members as well down in Vermont, and we've chosen not just great charities and NFPs that excel in the work they're doing in these areas of self-care, but ones that are across the country.
So tell us a bit about, like what do you do? What does Sustainable Self-Care Initiative do?
Two things. It feels like we started with one thing and it kind of grew into two. So there's two sides. We're focusing on more the challenges and our socials at the moment, but we are challenging anyone we can to take charge of their own personal self-care in whatever ways they have available to them. Second, we have committed to donating $1,000 each to 5 organizations each month that are excelling in these areas, as we want to raise awareness that they exist, they're out there, and they already are doing work in these areas. They can share resources, you can call them, you can talk to them. They're doing a great job, and we just want to connect and bridge anyone looking at their self-care to what is available currently to them.
How do you choose these organizations?
I've picked a good handful from ones I've enjoyed working with and donating to in the past.
Okay.
And we're mainly looking for ones that are in the same value system we are. So we'd say ones that are already actively participating in physical self-care, mental self-care, emotional self-care, and then in the general world of providing shelter, providing food, and human rights. So a decent enough range where you can pick within the sandbox of it.
So very all-encompassing. And do you have, like, there's no product, right? Like, this is basically you bringing awareness to other organizations that would help with a sustainable self-care.
I would say the challenge or the product is your self-care. The product is you, it's me, it's everyone that surrounds us. Self-care tends to have a bit of a ripple effect, because if you start taking care of yourself, those close to you notice, and they'll often get inspired to even do just a little bit more for themselves.
Wow, I love that as a visual, right? If we picture that we are the ripple, the little pebble, and then the ripple effect goes out of positivity. So it starts within here, and then so you're helping people look at the options and the possible ways to have sustainable self-care.
That's right. To be the change they want to see.
To be the change that you want to see. How is it working with these other organizations? Like, you must be finding so many cool things out there.
It's been a pretty amazing ride so far, even just connecting with all of the different people that run these organizations. The level of passion and care, you know, is inspiring, to be honest.
It must be. It must be, because I would assume that people are involved in these areas or start them because of something personal within their own lives that moved them to do this.
Guilty.
Right? Maybe tell us a bit about your journey.
My personal journey. Let's see. I'd be able to reach excellent heights in work and business. I'd eventually become the best at whatever I did.
Yeah.
And I'd expend all of my energy doing everything I could to either earn more income, make more money, make more friends, create business strategies, and would just get exhausted more and more and more each year. So I found the burnout periods were getting harder and harder and darker and darker.
Yeah.
And I would start seeking out organizations or doctors, friends, anyone who could help me understand why this was happening.
Because even though you were becoming more and more successful, you weren't feeling that like level rise at the same way as your success.
They did not connect. And it felt like the more successful I became, the less excited I was to get out of bed, the more depressed I was. So yeah. I was clearly not feeding something. Something wasn't getting attention.
And that can be a very hopeless feeling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's kind of like getting stuck in a swamp.
Yeah.
Where you're mired, and everything. It's just a nasty visual, and it feels very hopeless to be in that situation.
It's amazing that you're able to recognize that and then make some changes and to create something so positive that can help other people, right? And bring awareness that we don't have to be stuck in those deep, dark places for long periods of time. Like, I'm not saying that
honestly,
we won't places,
no,
right?
I never thought. I'm 37 now. I never thought I'd even feel great ever again. I was so convinced that there was nothing there for me, and it didn't matter how successful I was. I was, useless in the long run.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. That self-talk was negative.
Ooh, very negative self-talk.
Regardless of your achievements.
My secret to success, quote unquote, for the self-care journey was talking it through with a doctor and realizing that the core beliefs I had deep down were just rotten. And I did not have that true belief in myself that I needed to. So think about it like building a really strong house on corrupted ground. You could rebuild the house as many times as you'd like, but you've got to remediate the soil.
Yes, that's a great way to look at it. So that just helped you understand. Okay.
Yeah, the understanding was more like, hey, it's not about the house that I'm building. In this case, like how many push-ups I can do or my physicality. It goes much, much deeper than that. And if I don't fix that, it's going to cause problems for the rest of my life.
What do you think happens? Why do people avoid or not work on that base or not understand the importance of it? I don't know. There's maybe some kind of blockage to that.
Yeah, I think a few. It's scary. It's scary and it's difficult, and you're challenging yourself to work on something that you don't know you have the tools for.
Right. Yeah, you do have the tools for it.
And you do.
Got the tools.
You do now.
Yes, and especially so how do people even get involved with sustainable self-care initiatives?
Yeah, well, we are still only about 2 months old at this point, but things are moving pretty quickly. So check out our website at sustainableself.care. We have our challenges section, and you can get started by simply picking one of the challenges. That you start with one. You can do a few more if you'd like, but don't make it too difficult on yourself if it's all new to you. For myself, I chose challenges, one from each pillar: creative, mental, emotional, and physical. And the way that I've made it to be a little easier in my life is I just do 20 minutes a day of this challenge or 20 minutes a day of this challenge. So it'll be reading a book. I'm learning Spanish on Duolingo. Spending at least 20 minutes in nature. So whether that's sitting outside or just, pausing, holding space for myself. And how old was that last one? At least 3 workouts a week.
Yes. So with that foundation, that starts to change things and just that's your challenge. And so people can just go on, look at the pillars, pick things from there
that's right.
Resonate with them. And so, would you say that previously your self-care was more random, like not as purposeful or planned or thought out?
Not as consistent for sure, but also my self-care was negotiable. If somebody needed something from me, then I would often, I'd skip a gym appointment to help a friend. Yeah. Or I'd throw some work or business ahead of my creative journaling or writing for the day. So once I started making that self-care, even if it's, an hour here, an hour there, a non-negotiable to what I was putting on my day, that was a huge game changer.
I think that's massive. Just speaking from maybe even the point of view as like a mom or moms, parents, that kind of putting others first and then forgetting about yourself probably happens a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
Or helping others, helping a friend, or I've got to get this work done. So all those things that we tell ourselves that we have to do, and then sacrificing actually what's going to help us do those things well if we were taking care of ourselves.
Well, if you, I think I've noticed a pattern in me, and I can't speak for everyone, but if you notice, when you get really busy, the first things that get cut from the list are normally related to you. So your self-care, your eating times, like things you need, you start to give them up one piece at a time for other reasons or for other people. And then that's usually when you start hitting that burnout and declining, because you're no longer feeding yourself.
Right. And then it's cyclical, right? You just keep going down and down.
Yeah. My dad used to say, exhaustion is cumulative, rest isn't.
Exhaustion is cumulative, rest isn't. Wow. So what other, so you have ongoing projects with Sustainable Self-Care Initiative? Are you?
Absolutely.
Okay, tell us a bit about
Absolutely. That. We got some great orientation and direction on our socials last month with a few of our team members. If you go to our website and look up collaborators, you'll see the wonderful, beautiful people that have been helping so far. And August, we've just decided to blow up as much as we can. So we'll be, doing some more Facebook Lives. We'll be launching a few initiatives through our social media site. And we're getting ready for a big self-care September.
Oh, good title.
Thank you.
That's pretty great. So Self-Care September. What can we look forward to in that?
I don't know if I can give away any details, Nisha. It's pretty exciting.
Okay.
Well, and everything too, so that people know this is a totally new project by people that haven't done this particular thing before, but we're bravely going ahead no matter what to see what we can accomplish. And there's a lot of fear involved as well. There's a lot of uncertainty in how are we going to do this. All we know is we're going to do it. And so far, everything has been lining up.
It's amazing. We're really happy to be talking to you about this. And what are your hopes of what you'd like to accomplish through this initiative?
You know what? I feel like I've already started to accomplish them. I've noticed a change in the 7 people already. Even just a little bit at a time, the people around them are starting to take better care of themselves because my team is. And
wow.
Those little ripple effects have already started.
That's amazing.
So we're going to bring our friends in. I call it like a barrel of monkeys. We're just going to bring in one monkey at a time.
Wow.
And think globally, starting locally.
Yes, it's a fantastic way to do it. Because you can actually see the changes in front of you.
You can feel it. The people that are changing themselves and working on their self-care more, they embody the change. You can feel it from them. You can see they're taking better care of themselves, whether they're losing weight or they're feeling a certain way. They're just happier. They've got a different energy, a glow.
And then that positivity resonates around them. It just spreads. And I agree that if you go home happy to your family, then that energy emanates out.
And if you're building that energy inside, then things that are happening to you externally are going to have to get through that internal energy and that internal strength first.
Yes. So building that resilience.
That's right. I think of it like building your backup battery. So when you've given everything to the world, you come back and you charge, and you still have a little left for yourself at the end of the day.
It's a great way to look at it. Don't deplete your battery completely. Just recharge every day. Like that, you said, that 20 minutes can make all the difference. And then I think if we even look at it in terms of, as adults we do this, but if we have children, that help them build those skills now. like help your children see what it is
Yeah.
that they need to do to feel good daily.
Help them know that they're of value and they matter.
That they matter.
To themselves.
Yes. And if they don't feel good, they can do things to feel better.
That's right.
And that self-love and self-care is everything.
100%.
I feel like I'm going to have some great conversations today based on our conversation. So, Eddy, your goals for the future?
We are legally structuring ourselves as a not-for-profit currently, so getting that going and getting the certification.
Excellent.
And honestly, taking it month by month, because the goals are so big, they're scary. But if we break them down into a month and what we need this week, we're going to be looking at this next year, like how far have we come.
Well, it's fantastic. I can't wait to even talk to you again next year and say, like, look how far you've come, Eddy, and look what you guys have all done. This time has gone by so quickly in chatting with you. I just think this is a super important initiative. It's interesting how, if we look at it, it's actually very simple, right? Self-care, care of self. You would think it's just a natural thing, but it's not. And so I love that you're bringing that to the forefront of people to think about and helping people learn how to implement it. But even so interesting that you're pairing with different people, that it's not just you alone. You're showing that there's so many people that are working on this. So whatever your personality is, there's somewhere for you to go to find resources.
That's right. No matter what, there's help out there for you. You just got to believe in yourself.
You got to believe in yourself. And so thanks.
It sounds so cliche, I know.
No, but thanks for helping us believe in ourselves, just by even this talk. It's a reminder of self-care and the importance. And we believe in you, and we believe in what this initiative is doing. So thank you, Sustainable Self-Care Initiative. Everyone, please check it out online. They also have an Instagram, and just pick those things that you want to do daily. Just excellent. Thanks so much, Eddy. So happy to have you on Stigma-Free. Thanks, everyone, for joining. And join us next week, Thursday at 11. And look out for all the great things that Sustainable Self-Care Initiative is doing. And have an amazing day. Take care. Bye, Eddy. Bye, everyone.